Okay, so moving on, let's have a look at the internal and external influences on human resource objectives and decisions. So you can see I've got a nice little building in the middle, and all of the points there highlighted in green. These are all the internal influences on the objectives and decisions made by the human resource departments. So what we're looking at here is what has an influence on the decisions and objectives that human resource set and make. So senior management is a big one. It's the human resource department and management has to make sure that all the objectives and decisions they make are helping the business achieve their overall aims and objectives. Also, senior management will decide whether a hard or soft human resource approach is needed for the business. And so therefore, human resource management will have to take this into consideration when setting their objectives and making their decisions. And also the other three main areas of the business, marketing, finance and operations, their actions, their objectives, their decision making will also need to be taken into consideration. So if, say, I'll give you an example here, senior management may decide that expenditure and costs need to be cut by 10%. In order to help them make a profit. It could be a really bad year for sales, so they have to cut costs by 10%. Well, then financial management will then have to think about areas of the business where they will have to cut costs by 10%. And human resources will need to know this, because then they will need to think about the possibility of cutting staff wages by 10%. Or when they spend money on advertisement, in order to recruit new employees, they might need to find cheaper alternatives or negotiate 10% discounts with the sources that they currently advertise through. The Human Resource Management Department will also need to consider the external factors as well. External factors will play a part in the decisions made by human resources. So here I've just used the PESTEL frameworks, where you've got political, economic, social, technological, environmental and legal factors and influences that would affect and have an impact on the decisions and objectives set and made by human resources. Okay, so I'll give you an example there. The economy may have a huge effect. If the economy is in a recession or a downturn, it means consumer spending is low. This means demand for the product is going to be low. Therefore, that may have an impact on the number of employees the business employs. And this will have an impact on human resource decision making and objectives. Okay, so task 2 is, I've just given you an example of an economic factor that has an impact on human resource decision making and objective setting. So task 2 is as follows. I would like you to research possible political, economic, social, technological, environmental and legal factors and influences which may determine objectives that human resource management set and decisions they make. Okay, so you can pause the video now in order to complete that task. Okay, task 3. I would like you to watch the following video and complete the questions below. Okay, so just go onto your internet search engine, Google for an example, and type in Tutor to You, Soft and Hard Approaches to Human Resource Management. Watch the video and then answer the 6 questions. Okay, I want you to explain, define what soft and hard human resource management is. I then would like you to analyse the advantages and the disadvantages. And then to get those A's and B's, I want you to evaluate what the success of a soft or a hard human resource approach depends on. So if a business decides to adopt a soft human resource approach, what does the success of that depend on? Now, a little hint, it has to overcome the disadvantages. There's one little hint for you. Okay, so if you can pause the video, watch the Tutor to You video and answer these questions, please. Okay, continuing with 3.6.2 of the specification. This is all about analysing human resource performance. Now, if we scroll back up to the definition here, the overall aim of human resource management is to design and implement strategies in order to maximise the performance of their employees. So when a business sets an objective or has an aim, it has to measure whether that aim or objective has been achieved or not. So the business has to analyse its human resource performance, has to analyse the data in order to measure whether the performance of their employees has improved or not. And that's what the next section is all about. Okay, it's about analysing the human resource performance. So you need to be able to calculate and interpret the following: labour turnover and retention rates, labour productivity, employee costs as a percentage of turnover, and then finally labour cost per unit. Okay, so the next task 4, is to watch the following video and answer the questions below. Okay, so type in Tutor to You, staff retention and labour turnover, watch the video, write some notes, and then answer questions 1 to 6. Okay, if you can pause the video and complete the questions that have been set.